Hi, I'm Steve Chandler from Property Development Institute. Today, I'd like to take you through the very beginning of what I call the property development sequence. Over the coming weeks, I'd like to share with you the process of property development. So, starting with selecting your actual preferred market, what it is that you want to develop. You may want to develop commercial industrial assets. You might want to do residential, so small scale housing, for example, two villas side by side, which is, getting two properties from one. You might want to do six packs, half a dozen properties. You might want to do apartments. You might want to just do land subdivision, creating the housing lots for other people to build on. Whatever it is that you are actually wanting to do, that's the very first step, is actually determining what it is that you want to target. And that's why we call it the target market. And once you have worked out what it is that you can do, now what can drive that decision? For me, over my 40 plus years in the industry, I've worked in a huge variance of types of projects. And for me, the one thing that really stuck with me is, in my heart, if you like, the thing that I truly love is the apartment market, the residential apartments. I absolutely love that market, and it's a real focus for me. That's why I develop property in that market. So for you, you need to find out what it is that really strikes a chord with you. Now, you also then have to look at your financial capability, and we'll just focus on those people who've got capital at the moment to be able to do a project. But really, even if you start with something that's just like buy, renovate, and sell, that can be an office, that can be factory units, it can be apartments, it can be houses. Simple things like that. It's just such a great place to start because it's not a lot of capital. So the very, very first thing that you must do is choose what you want to do. It's always about finding something that resonates with you, because when it resonates, there's a word I can't spell, resonates. When it resonates with you, it just makes it easier for you. So that's the first thing. Just have a look in yourself, what it is that you want to do. It's okay to start small and then grow into larger projects. Absolutely, you can do that. Just find something that works for you. And when you do, then you're ready to take the next step in the property development sequence, which is, where do you want to develop? So understanding where is the next part of what we do. We do research, and it sounds horribly boring, and it's just like, oh my God, research, do we have to do it? Well, yes, we do have to do it, but only if we want to make a lot of money. Because if you do research, it informs you about where to develop. So when you know where to develop, it's a very simple thing. If you're going to buy a property and it costs you, I don't know, call it $1 million, and you want to renovate it and then sell it, and you know that when you sell a renovated apartment, it's going to sell for $1.5 million, then you know there's $500,000 between buy and sell. And all you have to do is assess the timeline that's required between the $1 million and the 1.5, and then take away all of the costs that are applicable. So, for example, when you buy the property, there may be some taxes you have to pay, there may be some legal fees, and maybe some due diligence costs. So then your $1 million purchase might be actually $1,050,000, and your sale at $1.5 million. Well, straight away we know that you've got legal fees because you've got to create the contract, and you've got commission to pay. So wherever you are, it doesn't take much to ring a few real estate agents and find out what the commission would be on selling a property. So whatever that commission is, who knows, let's call it $30,000 with legal fees and marketing brochures. You're going to have to get photos done and all that sort of stuff to be able to sell You need to put it on the internet and all those house listing websites, which cost money, all those sorts of things. So it might be 30,000. So when we talk about $1 million for acquisition and 1.5 for selling our revenue, well, we know that $1 million is $1,050,000, for example, and we know that $1.5 million sale is actually 1.47 approximately. So we've already narrowed the gap. So there's not 500,000. We're down to, what's that, 420,000. Now you've got to do your renovation. So what do you need to do? How long is that going to take? What's a kitchen and a bathroom cost? What's new carpet, or is there polished timber floorboards to do? New light fittings, new switches on the walls, shower screen, toilet suite, vanity unit. Are there built-in wardrobes that need to be changed? All of these things you must identify and put a cost to. And what do you need to do? You need to go and do, guess what? Research as well on what those costs will be. And do you need funding? Have you got the cash to do all this out of your own cash? I would never do that myself. I would always borrow money, because borrowing money is cheaper than using your own money. And if that doesn't make sense, then we need to have a chat. What you want to do is find out what all those costs are. Look at your timeline. If you're borrowing money, you've got application fees and you've got interest. And then because you're going to be paying it out in, 6 months, 9 months time, then you've got that payout fees as well. So all of these things you've got to calculate. But at the end of the day, when you've calculated that and you think that there's some money to be made and it's enough money for you, you've got your first project. Now you can go out and find that $1 million apartment that you know will be $1.5 million at the end. Right, I hope you've enjoyed that brief sort of start in getting started in the property development sequence. We'll talk more about the sequence in due course. Have a great day.